So the thing is now we are starting a new thing with respect to the Odisha history. So usually whenever I take up any topic, first and foremost what I'll try to do is I'll try to give a chronology of the issue. Then apart from the chronology, I usually tend to discuss about the sources too. But in case of Odisha, what we are going to do is I will put these classes as the last classes, sir. Okay, because there are lot many conflicting timelines which needs to be clarified. Okay, so which needs a little bit of more thorough understanding of the thing. So that is the reason why only the chronology part and the sources part of the history I'll deal at the end, sir. Okay, that will also help you also to get things in a little perspective at the end of the class. Then along with that, the sources also are very important, because of which reason I deal with only these two topics at the end session, sir. All right. So then if we remove the part of the timeline and the timeline and the sources of history, what we know is the historical period in Odisha, it starts with, okay, the first prominent reference of Odisha, it comes from the Puranas, sir. Okay, the prominent reference of the Odisha region, it comes from the Puranas, okay, where there is a discussion on Kalinga Raja. Okay, many Puranas, they discuss about this. Okay, then after the Puranas, if you see in Indian history, when it comes to the prominent role of Odisha in political terms, it starts with the rule of the Nandas in the north, sir. Okay, the Nanda dynasty was established in the Magadha. Okay, so and once the Nanda dynasty is established, the Nandas extended themselves to the region of Kalinga, sir. And their interest in Kalinga is primarily based on the elephants of Kalinga, sir. Because the Magadhan imperialism is based on having a very strong force of elephants of their own, and Kalinga produced the best quality elephants. So because of which reason they were very focused on the Kalingan region, and with the establishment of the Nandas, the Magadhan empire, it extended itself to Kalinga, and the first prominent ruler is, okay, Mahapadma Nanda, sir. So Mahapadmananda is the first prominent ruler, and he extended his empire because he was the first Ekrat of India. Ekrat is emperor. Try to take some running notes, sir. So at the end of the class, I'll share the handout too. But in the meanwhile, also if you take down some notes, it would be helpful for you. So if Mahapadmananda we look at, he is considered to be the Ekrat of India, and being the Ekrat of India, he extended his empire in all the directions. And as part of this only, he got control over the Kalingan region, sir. And this occurred almost 100 years before, okay, the rise of Ashoka, sir, okay, in Kalinga. So roughly in 362 BC itself, Mahapadmananda, he extended his empire to Kalinga, sir. And his empire's extent of Kalinga is in fact proved by some archaeological excavations too, sir. There were numerous archaeological excavations which also prove, okay, Mahapadmananda's control over the Kalingan region. Particularly, the archaeological evidence come from the evidence of northern black polished ware, sir. Okay, this is a peculiar pottery of the Magadhan era. Okay, so or Mahajanpada era, which is called as northern black polished ware. And along with this northern black polished ware, we also find some punch marked coins too, sir. Okay, it's not writing. So punch marked coins also are available. Then along with that, the northern black polished ware is also available. So these two evidences have been found in Kalingan region because of the excavations which are conducted at this place, which is called as Asuragar, sir. Okay, Asuragar is the region, so where the excavations were conducted. This proves beyond doubt that the Magadhan imperialism has extended itself to Kalinga region even before Ashoka, sir. Is it clear? The site name you have to remember, that is Asuragar. And what evidence we found? We found northern black polished ware along with punch marked coins are also found in this region. So this made, or this proved beyond doubt that in the Magadhan empire, when Mahapadmananda was calling himself as Ekrat, one important part of his empire is Kalinga, sir. Okay, in fact, after this, numerous Greek records, okay, Greeks, Alexander the Great has invaded India. So when Alexander the Great invaded over India, even the Greek accounts, they also give a lot of evidences about, and they say that the best quality elephants for warfare, The Greek accounts during Alexander, they also state that the best quality elephants in India are from the Kalingan region, sir. Are from the Kalingan region. This is also something which has been stated very clearly by the Greek accounts. Then after the Nanda dynasty, okay, so there was a change of power during the time of Chandragupta Maurya, right? Yes, Dhanananda was governing and Dhanananda was overthrown by Chandragupta Maurya and Kautilya. And when this power transition happened, what happened is Kalinga became independent from the Mughal rule, sir. Okay, Kalinga region, it became independent from the Mughal rule. But even after that also, when Megasthenes came into India, he also refers to the Kalinga Raja. And along with Megasthenes reference, we also have the historical evidence from the Arthashastra too, sir. Okay, so both of the books are written during the time of Chandragupta Maurya. One is Megasthenes Indica, okay, and the second one is Arthashastra by Kautilya, and both of them refer to the same Kalinga Raja, okay, and they talk about the richness of the land on one side, and even the elephants of the Kalinga Raja are also referred to by both Megasthenes and Arthashastra. So this way we get to know information about Kalinga, sir. Then after that, during the time of Ashoka Maurya, finally, okay, he went on to conquer the Kalinga region, sir. Okay, Ashoka Maurya period is important for us. And the reason for Ashoka Maurya's conquest of Kalinga, in fact, there are multiple reasons which are stated, sir. And these might be important from the exam point of view in OAS. So that is the reason why. Just to take them down in an order, sir. There are some factors which are considered to be political factors, sir. Okay, the first one is what? There are some peculiar political factors which led to Ashoka Maurya's conquest of the Kalingan region. The political factors, may the most important one is Ashoka's imperialism, sir. Okay, Ashoka wanted to become, okay, the imperialist or the emperor of India, and for him, Kalinga Raja was in fact a stumbling block, sir, because he controlled all the region to the north of Kalinga, okay, to the east of Kalinga and to the south of Kalinga. The entire region was under his control except for the region of Kalinga, sir. And because of this reason, his imperialism dictated him to conquer the region of Kalinga. So this is the first factor, sir. When it comes to the second factor for expansion to Kalinga, there are some peculiar economic factors also for the same, sir. And when you look at the economic factors for occupation of Kalinga, one reason is Mauryan Empire itself is facing a very thorough economic crisis, sir. Okay, Mauryan Empire was facing an economic crisis. The economic crisis is primarily because of the large empire that they had. Then along with the large empire, they also had a lot of bureaucrats to be paid regularly, because of which the Mauryan Empire was facing an economic crisis, sir. And because of the economic crisis, okay, Ashoka considered that expansion into Kalinga will give him new resources, sir. So some people say that the Kalingan war is in fact a war or conflict for the resource control of Kalinga. So the economic crisis of the Mauryan Empire, it prompted him to expand, okay, because he wanted to take control of the Kalingan resources. Just listen to me carefully, you will be able to follow through. I will give a detailed handout also of the same. So whatever you can write, you write it down. Okay, rest of the things will come in the form of handout. Don't worry. Then the third factor which is usually explored here is, some people say that there are some commercial aspects also behind Ashoka's expansion into Kalinga, sir. When it comes to the commercial factors behind Ashoka's expansion into Kalinga, one important commercial factor is there was a competitive element here, sir. Okay, there was a competitive element here, primarily because Ashoka controlled Anga Mahajanpada, sir. Anga is what? Bengal region, sir. He had control over Anga Mahajanpada, and through Anga Mahajanpada, so if you see, he was conducting his trade through the port town of Tamralipti, sir. Okay, Tamralipti. So in Anga was under the Mauryan control. So when it comes to this Tamralipti, Tamralipti was facing a very tough competition in trade and commerce from this port town which is called as Pitunda, sir. Okay, this is an important port town in Odisha. In fact, the historians have not as of yet identified this port town, but even in Kharavela's inscriptions also Pitunda is mentioned, sir. This is one important port town. So from here, he was facing a tough competition to his trade and commerce, particularly when he was trading with Southeast Asia, sir. Okay, so he was also conducting commerce with Southeast Asia. Okay, the people of Kalinga region are also conducting the commerce with Southeast Asia. This led to a commercial conflict, and this commercial conflict is one of the reasons is usually stated, sir. Then apart from this commercial conflict, there is one more commercial angle here, which is with respect to the issue of piracy, sir. Okay, with respect to the issue of piracy is also one major concern for Ashoka, primarily because some of the coastal tribes of the Odisha region, they were conducting some piratical attacks on the Mauryan merchant ships, sir. Okay, this is also considered to be one factor, Mauryan merchant ships pay. So they were conducting piratical attacks, and this is also one factor which might have led to, okay, the Ashokan imperialism in Kalinga, sir. And if you see, okay, here from this angle, from prelims point of view, one thing which is very important for you is the port town of Pitunda, sir. Okay, this is very important for you from the prelims point of view. So these are the important factors which might have led to Ashokan imperialism. Then apart from these broader historical factors, okay, some historians identify some specific issues which might have led to the invasion, sir. And of the specific issues which are usually discussed, in fact, there is a very prominent writer from Tibet by the name of Lama Tarnath. Just remember his name. Lama Tarnath is, okay, a person from Tibet region. He wrote a history of Buddhism in Tibet, sir. And this included Ashoka's conquest of Kalinga. And this Lama Tarnath, in his Tibetan books, what he has written is, he stated that the main reason for Ashoka's invasion is because of the Nagas of Odisha, sir. Okay, it is said that the Nagas of Odisha, they have conducted, okay, a robbery and they looted the crown jewels of Ashoka, sir. Okay, so they conducted a robbery in Patliputra and they looted some crown jewels of Ashoka, and this might be one factor behind Ashoka's invasion over Kalinga, sir. Okay, this is also one important area that we need to know about, sir. One is Lama Tarnath. He wrote the history of Buddhism in Tibet region. So almost in 11th, 12th century, he has written this book, and in that book, he puts the blame on the Nagas, sir. Okay, then apart from that, there are also some folk tales around Ashoka's invasion of Kalinga, sir. And if you look at the folk tales of Ashoka's invasion over Kalinga, one folk tale which almost is repeated regularly is the story of Karuvaki, sir. Okay, Karuvaki or Karuvaki, she was in fact the daughter of a fisherman. Okay, and she was supposed to be married to the Kalingan prince, sir. Okay, see, the thing is, we don't know who the prince was. Okay, what the story here is not known, but she was supposed to be married to the Kalingan prince. But Ashoka, in fact, he fell in love with this lady, and in order to get her hand in marriage itself, he invaded over Kalinga is one more story. So which is actually a folk tale in Odisha, particularly among the fishermen community, sir. This is a story among the fishermen community, and in fact, this story was in Odishan society for quite some time, sir. Okay, for quite some time in the history of Odisha, if you look at the folk tale was a cultural survival from ancient time. And if you look at this folk tale, it in fact was strangely corroborated by one inscription of Ashoka, which is called as the Allahabad inscription, sir. See, none of these fishermen have ever read Ashoka's inscription of Allahabad, sir. किसी ने पढ़ा नहीं, okay, किसी को पता भी नहीं था. लेकिन इस Allahabad inscription में भी Ashoka very clearly states about the name of his wife to be Karuvaki, and he also says that his son was there by the name of Tivara. Okay, Tivara is his son and Karuvaki is his wife, and this is mentioned in Allahabad inscription. So this might also be one of the factor behind Ashoka's invasion. So we have explored some 5 different dimensions of Ashoka's invasion. Then along with these 5 dimensions, there is also a 6th dimension behind his invasion, sir. People say that it might also have been, did you understand this, sir? People also say that there might be a 6th factor for the conflict too, and the 6th factor for the conflict is it might also be a religious conflict too, sir. Okay, it might also be a religious conflict, primarily because Ashoka was a follower of Shaivism before the Kalingan War, whereas most of the people in Kalinga region, they followed the heterodox sects. Okay, the people of Kalinga, they followed heterodox sects, whereas Ashoka followed Shaivism, and the heterodox sects which were practiced in Kalinga region were, okay, one is Buddhism, and the second prominent one is Jainism. So because of all these factors, okay, Ashoka might have invaded over Kalinga is something which is usually, okay, stated by the historians. Okay, so causes we have understood. Now after the causes, the thing is, the next aspect is we need to briefly discuss about the course of the war too, sir. Then after the course of the war, the consequences for Odisha is something which is more important for us, sir. Okay, the consequences for Odisha are more important for us. And if you look at the course of the conflict, okay, so I think in general studies class, I have clearly stated that 1 lakh people were killed in war. 1.5 lakh became prisoners of war, sir. Just understand this. 1 lakh were killed in war. 1.5 lakh people became prisoners of war. And nearly 2.5 lakh people also died because of disease, sir. Disease and injuries of war, 2.5 lakh people died. So this makes the total number of casualties of war to be roughly 5 lakhs. Okay, so if the casualties of the war itself are 5 lakh, okay, it is being said that at that point of time, the Kalingan population was roughly around nearly 40 lakh people were there in Kalinga, sir. Okay, the population is very high, sir. 4 million people only in one state of India. So roughly the population was nearly 40 lakh people were present, of which 5 lakh people perished in the war, sir. And because of the war, okay, there was a change in the attitude of Ashoka. Okay, and after the change of attitude of Ashoka, he got converted from, okay, this Ashoka called Chand Ashok to Dhamma Ashok. So you might be knowing about this. So he got converted from Chand Ashok to Dhamma Ashoka, sir. And after getting converted from Chand Ashok to Dhamma Ashok, he in fact brought in a lot many changes in his administration. In his own personality, he brought a lot many changes. But all of those things are more important from the national history point of view. From Odishan point of view, the important things about the changes that were made by Ashoka are, first and foremost, you should know about the Shabajgiri inscription, sir. Shabajgiri inscription is the first one that we need to know about. And here in Shabajgiri, that is present in Pakistan-Afghanistan border, he gave an edict which is called as Rock Edict 13, sir. You need to know these are important from the prelims point of view. Rock Edict 13. Shabajgiri is the place which is present between Afghanistan and Pakistan boundary. And in this inscription, he shows, okay, remorse for the war crimes, sir. Okay, he shows remorse for war crimes in Shabajgiri, sir. This is the first thing that he does. So he shows a lot of remorse, saying that he might have committed a mistake by fighting the war. Okay, and war is in fact a lot of suffering for people. So all of these are mentioned by him in his inscription, which is called a Shabajgiri inscription. And here in Rock Edict 13, he in fact shows a remorse for the war crimes that he committed in Kalinga, sir. Then apart from that, he also gave, try to understand this, sir. The second thing that he did is, he gave 2 inscriptions. One is the Dhauli inscription, and the second one is the Jaugada inscription, sir. And these 2 are usually called as the Kalingan inscriptions of Ashoka, sir. Please write it down. So Dhauli and Jaugada, both of them together are called as Kalingan inscriptions. And in these Kalingan inscriptions, he gave an edict which is usually called as Rock Edict 1, sir. Remember this carefully. He gave an edict which is called as Rock Edict 1 is the edict which has been issued by him in Dhauli and Jaugada, sir. And in these 2 inscriptions, first and foremost, this is the place where he discusses about this concept of paternal despotism, sir. He discusses about this concept called paternal despotism, and he declares that, okay, Sabe Manushye Pajamama, sir. Okay, so this is a very famous statement of his. So all my subjects are my children is the statement which he made in Dhauli and Jaugada, sir. So these are the two places where he gave this statement of all my subjects are like my children. So this is one important statement that he made in order to win over the people of Kalinga to his side, sir, because the people were opposing him. That is the reason why he made this proclamation that, okay, all my subjects are my children, and in their welfare, okay, just like I ask for my own children's welfare, similarly I also ask for the people's welfare too, is the statement which he made, sir. Is it clear? Save Manushe Pajamama. So, and this is part of the Kalingan inscriptions of Ashoka, and the rock edict is rock edict number 1, sir. Then apart from this, he also took a special interest in the administration of Kalinga, sir. From here on, the things are a little important. Just focus on this. He took special care on the administration of Kalinga, sir. And as part of his second special care of administration of Kalinga, first and foremost, he converted Kalinga into a Janapada, sir. And Janapada means state. Try to understand this. Janapada means state. Okay, so he converted Kalinga into a Janapada, and it had its own capital at this place which is called as Tosali, sir. Tosali was the capital. So, and he converted it into a Janapada, and he made one of his half brothers, sir. Just remember this carefully. So, one of his half brother was a person by the name of Tissa, sir. Okay, so one of his half brother was Tissa, and this Tissa was made into a Kumara of this Kalinga Raja, sir. Okay, so Tissa was his half brother, and he was made into a Kumara of Kalinga, sir. This is the first thing that he did. Okay, so Tissa was made into a Kumara of Kalinga. Kumara here means governor, sir. He was made into a governor. And apart from appointing him as a governor, Kalinga is the only state for which he appointed a separate council of ministers, sir. Okay, so usually in Madhya Desha only there are council of ministers. Madhya Desha means the central part of the country. But here in Kalinga also he appointed a group of ministers called the council of ministers in order to assist the Kumara, sir. It means that the Kumara cannot take any decision on his own. He has to definitely consult the council of ministers of his own. So council of ministers को पहले appoint किया था sir इसने. So no other province has the evidence of council of ministers except for Kalinga, sir. Then the second important administrative change that he brought about is he in fact focused on the administration of Kalinga by appointing the Dhamma Mahamata, sir. So usually in all the provinces across the country, the Dhamma Mahamatas were appointed by the Kumaras, sir. Try to understand this. In all the provinces, they are appointed by the Kumaras, sir. But in the case of Kalinga, what Ashoka did is he appointed Dhamma Mahamatas himself, sir. Only in Kalinga, the Dhamma Mahamatas were appointed by the king himself directly, sir. Rather than he, you can write king. So the king himself directly appointed the Dhamma Mahamatas, sir. So king appointed Dhamma Mahatas were present in Kalinga, and in Kalinga also the Dhamma Mahamatas had a special responsibility, sir. Try to understand this. In all other states they are appointed by the Kumara, and they conducted 5 tours. Sorry, they conducted. Just a second. They conducted 3 tours of the kingdom, sir. Annually, they are supposed to conduct 3 tours of the kingdom. But in Odisha's case, he asked the Dhamma Mahamatas by appointing him themselves to conduct 5 tours per year, sir. Okay, 5 tours per year is the responsibility that he gave to the Dhamma Mahamatas. That is one more important thing that he did. So 5 tours per year, and he appointed the Dhamma Mahamatas directly himself. So these are the special steps that he took for the sake of the Kalingan state, sir. Then apart from this, one more thing that he did is only in Kalingan region, what he did is he occupied the coastal region, sir. He only occupied the coastal region, whereas the interior forest regions, try to understand this, the interior forest regions of Odisha, who are called as Atavikas, he in fact did not interfere in their administration, sir. He did not interfere in the administration of the Atavikas. When it comes to the Kalinga region, there he took special care of administration. He appointed the Dhamma Mahamatas himself and asked them to conduct 5 tours per year. Then along with that, he appointed the Kumara, his own half brother, by the name of Tissa. Then he appointed a council of ministers for Tissa. So this way he took some special care in the state of Odisha, sir. Then along with that, he also gave a call to his administrator, sir. Did you understand till here? Is it clear? Okay, whatever I was talking till here, is it understandable, sir? Then apart from this, one more thing that he did is, in case of Odisha, he appointed, so his usual administrators are Rajuka is one administrator, then Yukta is one more administrator, Pradeshika is one more administrator. Okay, these are his administrators, sir. But okay, Rajuka, Yukta and Pradeshika, but he asks all these administrators, sir, okay, all these administrators, okay, not to harass the people, sir. This is one more important thing that he did, sir. So in other inscriptions, he doesn't talk about it, but here in Kalingan inscription, he asked the Rajuka, Yukta and Pradeshika not to harass the people, okay, and deal with them fairly, sir. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So this is one more special responsibility he gave to his administrators. And in the Kalingan inscriptions itself, he also talks about, okay, Anta Mahamata, sir. He talks about the Anta Mahamata, who was supposed to deal with the frontier kingdoms, sir. He was supposed to deal with the frontier kingdoms, and his name is Anta Mahamata. And this person, Anta Mahamata, he was supposed to deal with the Atavika people, sir. He appointed a special officer here, Anta Mahamata, who was supposed to deal with the forest people. So then apart from that, Rajuka, Yukta and Pradeshika, he asked them not to harass the people of Kalinga, sir. So these are the special care that is taken by Ashoka, sir, in order to have a better control over the Kalingan province. He took this special care in his administration. So rest of the things are general for the entirety of the continent. But in case of Odisha, the special care that has been taken by him are these steps, sir. Is it making sense? So then along with taking these steps, one more thing that he did is, he also took a lot many efforts to propagate Buddhism in Odisha, sir. Okay, this is more important. He took a lot many steps to propagate Buddhism in Odisha. First and foremost, the appointment of his brother Tissa. On one side, it was political, but it is more important from the religious aspect too, sir. Okay, it is more important from religious aspect too, because Tissa was a very prominent supporter of Buddhism, sir. So that is the reason why he appointed his brother Tissa. Then apart from appointing his brother Tissa, what Ashoka had done in Odisha is, he in fact constructed a vihara. Please write them down, sir. So Buddhism promotion ke liye, what he has done, you observe. So and write them down, sir. So he appointed, okay, so Acharya Dharma Rakkhita, sir. So he belongs to the Theravada school of Buddhism. He was appointed to propagate Buddhism in Odisha. Okay, these kind of facts are being asked as questions. Okay, Acharya Dharma Rakshita or Rakkhita, the same thing, sir. So he propagated Theravada form of Buddhism. Then he constructed a vihara also in Odisha, which is called as Bojakagiri Vihara, sir. Bojakagiri Vihara. Write down these facts. Okay, Bojakagiri is okay very nearby to Dhauli. He has constructed this, sir. So we just have archaeological evidence, no actual evidence of any vihara. So but Bojakagiri Vihara in Kalinga is constructed by Ashoka. Then in order to propagate this Mahasangika school, Acharya Mahadev also came to Odisha, sir. Write down the names of these Buddhist scholars, sir. Acharya Mahadeva of Mahasangika school also propagated this form of Buddhism, Mahasangika form of Buddhism in Odisha. Then Sarvasti Vada scholar also by the name of Ditika Kumara. Please write these three people name down. Ditika Kumara, Acharya Mahadeva and Acharya Dharma Rakkhita. So these are the people who propagated Buddhism in Odisha, sir. So this was a special responsibility that he has given to these people. Usually whenever we talk about Ashoka's spreading of Buddhism, the usual names that are associated with Ashoka's spread of Buddhism are Mahinda and his daughter Sangamitra, right? Okay, similar to that, he also appointed these people, these Buddhist monks also, to propagate Buddhism in Odisha, sir? Okay, there can be a very good prelims question here, okay, which is quite possible. So I think you can anticipate one prelims question from here. So who came to propagate what? Okay, which of the following monks came immediately into Kalinga after Ashoka? So all of these kind of questions can be asked here, sir. Is it clear? Then apart from that, did he contribute anything substantially to the sculpture or architecture of Odisha, sir? Any construction from Ashoka time which has survived? Huh? Anything survived from Ashoka's time to till date, sir, sculpture or architecture wise? Any stupa that he constructed? Huh? See, stupas, even though he might have constructed, Ashoka always constructed the stupas which are made of mud and bricks, sir. Because of which reason none of the stupas have survived. Okay, some historical texts say that he constructed one stupa at Dhauli. Okay, but there is no actual evidence of the stupa. It has gone out completely. Okay, but the only surviving evidence from Ashoka's period when it comes to sculpture is the half-carved elephant that he left at Dhauli, sir. You know about the half-carved elephant of Dhauli? So please write that down. So that last thing. From Ashoka's period, a sculpture has survived. A sculpture has survived, which is the half-carved elephant from Dhaulagiri. Half-carved elephant from Dhaulagiri. Okay, so this is the only prominent evidence from this era. So these are the various things with respect to Ashoka's conquest of Kalinga region, sir. Okay, some important factual information, some things which are specific to Odisha we have discussed about. So this finishes the topic of Ashoka's Kalinga war, sir. Okay, so this is how we are going to see the topic, sir. More factual information we will try to give. Now, the next thing is with respect to Kharavela, sir. The next historical period is with respect to Kharavela. So, in fact, after the death of Ashoka, nearly for 200 years, there is no other evidence from, other historical evidence from Odisha, sir. For 200 years, it is a blank slate. Okay, we don't know what happened in Odisha after for 200 years. Only in 40 BC, sir. Okay, 40 BC, with the ascent of this ruler called Kharvel, what happened is Odishan history once more, it became part of the national history of India, and we have some prominent examples from this era, sir. And if you look at this Kharavela's ascent to power, he claims himself to be from the Chedi dynasty, and the Chedi region, okay, in historical time, it is part of the Bundelkhand region, sir. Okay, it is part of the Bundelkhand region. So Chedi is a Mahajanapada in India, and it belonged to Bundelkhand region, and it had its capital at this place which is called as Suktimati. Suktimati is its capital. So from this region, okay, so historians say that, okay, Kharavela's family might have migrated with the rising Magadhan power, but we don't have any particular evidence about when they came to Odisha, sir. But when it comes to Kharavela's own family, if we see, so the Kharavela, he calls himself as belonging to the Mahamegha. What is it called, sir? Mahamegha Vahana. Okay, so Mahamegha Vahana lineage he calls himself as, and historians state today that Mahamegha Vahana, he might be the grandfather of Kharvel, sir. So he is the grandfather of Kharvel. He is the founder of this Chedi dynasty in Odisha. So Mahamegha Vahana is his grandfather, sir. Then apart from that, Kharavela takes one more title of his own, which is called as Chetaraja, sir. Okay, so just a second. So I am correct. So it is Chetaraja is the title that he takes up, sir, second title. So this Chetaraja is identified by many scholars as the father of Kharvel, sir. Okay, so Chetaraja is his father. His grandfather is Mahamegha Vahana. So, and Kharavela, after staying as a crown prince for nearly 15 years, he was the crown prince for 15 years. Finally, he ascended the throne in 40 BC, sir. 40 BC he has ascended the throne, and he has taken numerous titles for himself, sir. Try to understand this. So first and foremost, we will have a look at the number of titles that he has taken, sir. So you please write those titles down. Okay, the first one is Aryana Maharaja, okay, or Arya Maharaja. Okay, so however you pronounce it, so that Irana, okay, Irana Maharaja. Okay, Irana Maharajan is one title that he takes. Then apart from that, he takes the title of, okay, Maha Meghavahana Chetraja I talked about. So Kshemaraja is one more. Then apart from Kshemaraja, Buddha Raja is one more title, and Bhikshu Raja is one more title of his son. Okay, all of his titles first we need to see. So these are the important titles that he has taken up. Okay, so make a note of them, so that on titles also there can be a good question, sir. So these are the various titles that he has taken up, and after his taking up his titles, see, try to understand this. Okay, he had control over, okay, the territory of Kalinga, sir. Try to understand this. And if you look at this Kalingan territory, his capital has been identified with this place which is called as Sisupala Ghar, sir. Okay, Sisupalgarh is his capital, so which has been identified with modern day Bhubaneswar, sir. So the same place that we are in. So Sisupalgarh is his capital. So then apart from Sisupalgarh, the same city in some records, it is also called as Kalinga Nagara, sir. See, there is a lot of controversy with respect to the city of Kalinga Nagara. So because people sometimes identify it with the Srikakulam district in Andhra Pradesh, which is bordering Odisha. Okay, some people identify it with this Sisupalgarh. So because of which reason there is a lot of controversy here, but his capital is also called by some historians as Kalinga Nagara, sir. Then apart from that, the second important city in his kingdom is the city of Pitunda, sir. So these are the two cities which are referred to by Kharavela. So one is Pitunda and the second one is Sisupalgarh. Sisupalgarh is his capital, whereas Pitunda is his port town, sir. I talked about it in Ashokan period too, right? So it is his port town. One port town and one capital city are the two important places in the time of Kharavela, sir. When you look at Kharvel, so Kharvel's period, okay, we get to know the information, okay, only from one source, that is the Hathigumpha inscription. Okay, the Hathigumpha inscription is the most important source of information about him, and this contains an year-wise story of his reign, okay, till his 13th regal year, sir. Okay, so the story is contained till 13th regal year, and in fact this inscription, it is present in total 17 line inscription is this, sir. How many lines? 17 line inscription, so which has a detailed story of the 13 royal years of Kharvel, sir. And if you look at this 17 line inscription, it is given in the language which is called as Prakrit, sir. Try to understand this. The language is Prakrit, whereas the script which is used for this language is script, sir. Okay, it is a Prakrit language inscription with Brahmi script. Okay, just like Ashokan inscriptions, they share the language, they share the script also. Are you understanding this? Script and language is directly taken from, okay, Ashokan inscription, that is Prakrit and Brahmi, sir. Prakrit is the spoken language in the region. Brahmi is the script of India. So both of them are mixed together and this inscription is given, sir. In fact, the importance of Kharavela inscription is, if you look at, it starts with referring to the Arhats in Jainism, sir. So the opening statement of Kharavela's inscription itself contains a reference to Arhats of Jainism, sir. Try to understand this. There is no doubt about it. In the start itself, he proclaims himself to be a follower of Jainism, and he refers, or he starts his inscription by referring to the Arhats of Jainism, sir. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? And the initial lines of the inscription, they talk about the childhood of Kharvel, sir. Childhood and the period when he was the crown prince. These are discussed in the first few lines of the inscription. His childhood and his period as crown prince are discussed in the first few lines of the inscription, sir. Then after talking about the childhood and crown prince period, so after becoming the king, there is a discussion about the first regal years. Okay, at least some regal years are prominent. Okay, maybe they can ask a match the following or something like that. So that is the reason why at least try to remember some regal years. What was his contribution in a particular regal year? You need to know, sir. First and foremost, in the first regal year itself, rather than trying to expand his empire, that was not his concern. The second major concern for any king would be to rise his own revenues, right? But he was not focused on either expanding the empire or rising his revenue, sir. The first regal year of Carvale, it has gone for disaster management, sir. Okay, it has gone for disaster management just before Caravela became the emperor. So his city was hit with a brutal hurricane, sir. And the first year itself, what he did is he took over disaster management, and what he did is he provided a relief to the people, and he also reconstructed many regions of his capital, that is Shishupalgarh. His own capital city was adversely affected, so he provided relief to the people and also reconstructed his capital city of Shishupalgarh. In fact, he constructed some lakes also, in the city. Then some gardens were also constructed by him in Shishupalgarh. And modern excavations have proved that yes, he has definitely constructed some lakes and gardens here. So, and Shishupalgarh as a city was reconstructed by Caravale in the first regal year of his. Then after this first regal year, if you look at the second regal year of Caravale, just try to understand this. In the second regal year of Caravale, he in fact had a conflict with the Shatavahanas. So he had a conflict with the Shatavahanas, and this Shatavahana ruler who had a conflict with Caravale is the person who is called as Satakarni I. His name is very clearly mentioned in the inscription, Satakarni I. So he is the one who had a conflict with Caravale. So in fact, the Satakarni was also present in one more inscription in Deccan region, sir, which proves that he is truly a historical king. So, and the outcome of this conflict is not clearly mentioned in the inscription, sir. Usually, if there is a victory, then there used to be clear mention of victory. If there is a loss, there will be a clear reflection of loss. But here, the outcome of this battle is not mentioned clearly, sir. Outcome is not mentioned clearly, but the thing is, he says that in this conflict, he has, in fact, surrounded a city which is called as Rishika Nagara, sir. Please write it down. He surrounded a Shatavahana city. He surrounded a Shatavahana city called Rishika Nagara, sir. City called Rishika Nagara. Okay, so that can be asked as a question. So you please highlight that Rishika Nagara name, sir. So Rishika Nagara, he besieged the city, but the outcome of the battle is not very clear. So then after this, the third regal year of his is dedicated to cultural activities, sir. See, there is a lot of warfare, and in between suddenly what he does is he goes for cultural activities, he goes for public welfare activities. So there was a punctuation between war and peace time, sir. Okay, maybe he is following Gandhian policy of struggle through struggle. Okay, so we don't exactly know. So first fight, okay, then after that some merriment, then after that again go for fight, sir. So that is a policy which is clearly visible here. He goes for this same policy. What he does is he focuses himself on cultural activities, and particularly he conducts numerous feasts during this period, sir. Then apart from conducting feasts, he also displays to his people his proficiency in music and dance. He himself was an expert in music and dance, so he learned them in childhood. So he displays his prowess of music and dance to his people. He in fact conducts numerous feasts too. Then the period is mainly dedicated to merrymaking, sir. Okay, the term which is used by historians is also good. Okay, it is dedicated to merrymaking. The year is dedicated to merrymaking. So cultural activities, feasts, music and dance, these were the central themes in his third royal year, sir. Then after the third royal year, the fourth royal year is the one in which he again picks the conflicts with. Try to understand this, sir. In the fourth regal year or royal year, so he again picks a conflict not with the Satavahanas directly, but with the two subordinate kingdoms of the Satavahanas, which are called as Ratikas and Bhojakas, sir. Try to understand this, not with the Satavahanas directly, but two subordinate kings of the Satavahanas. These two are the feudal lords of Satavahanas, sir. They are called as Ratikas and Bhojakas, and on them he fights a war. And in this war, he clearly stated that he had seen a brilliant victory in the war, and he collected a lot of war booty also from this war, sir. Okay, fourth regal year, he defeats Ratikas and Bhojakas, and he in fact brings back a lot of booty from the Deccan region, sir. So the names of the rulers is also important. Ratikas and Bhojakas he defeats in the fourth regal year and brings back a lot of booty from their region, sir. Is it clear? Then after this, the fifth regal year of Harwin, sir. If you look at the fifth regal year, so just I want some recap, sir. Just a second. So fifth regal year, again it is dedicated to once more welfare activities, sir. Yes, struggle truth and struggle is true. Okay, so fifth regal year, he again goes for welfare activities, and as part of these welfare activities, try to remember this carefully, sir. During the time of Mahapadmananda, what he has done in Kalinga is he has constructed a canal, sir. In fact, he refers to the Nanda king as Nandaraja. Okay, it doesn't specify his name, but historians have identified the Nandaraja that he talked about with Mahapadmananda. And Mahapadmananda, during his conquest of Kalinga, he constructed a great canal in Kalinga, sir. And what he did is he extended this canal, sir. Okay, so the work that he did is the extension of the canal, and he extended the canal from two places, sir. Okay, Tansulia to Kalinga Nagari, sir. Okay, so please see that Tansulia is the starting point. Okay, from there to Kalinga Nagari tak he extended the canal, sir. From Tansulia to Kalinga Nagari he extended the canal. So that is the fifth regal year of his. Okay, so he is focused on the public welfare activities. So irrigation provision is considered to be a very important work for any king, and he fulfilled the duty, and he extended the canal from Tansulia to Kalinga Nagari, sir. Then after that, the sixth regal year of his, sir. Okay, so sixth regal year. So this is also time of no war, sir. Sixth regal year, what he has done is he in fact reduced the taxes on people in his kingdom, sir. Okay, sixth regal year, he reduced the taxes on the people in his kingdom. So maybe his treasury was already full. Okay, and the reason for the treasury having a lot of money might be the attack on the Ratikas and Bhojakas. Okay, whatever it might be, his treasury is full. And finally, what he was able to do in the sixth regal year is he was able to reduce the taxes in his kingdom, sir. This also shows his public welfare mindset. Then after the sixth year, even the seventh year also, he did not go for any war, sir. And in the seventh year of his reign, okay, he had a son, sir. Okay, but he doesn't name his son. Okay, just talks about his wife, sir. And that too, he did not name the wife name, sir. He just called her as, okay, the queen from Vajira Ghar. Okay, Vajira Ghara is the place from where she is the queen. So, and he just mentions her as the queen of Vajira Ghara, sir. Okay, please write it down. So he had a son, okay, from the queen of Vajira Ghara is one thing that he mentioned here, sir. Then after this, okay, nearly 3 years of no war, in the eighth regal year, he again goes on a conquest, sir. And this conquest is important, not only from the point of view of Odishan history, but entire Indian history. This eighth regal year is important, sir. Just understand this. In the eighth regal year, his main target was the northern kingdom of Magadha, sir. This was his target. Okay, and Magadha had Patliputra as one capital, and Rajgriha is one more capital. The old capital of Magadha is Rajgriha. So what he does is, he in fact wanted to attack Rajgriha, sir. He wanted to attack Rajgriha, and in the process, first what he does is, he takes over one mountain fort which is present in Barabar Hills, sir. Okay, in Bihar itself, there are some hills which are called as Barabar Hills. You might be knowing that these are the places where the Ajivika caves are present. So, and in the Barabar Hills, he occupies a mountain range which is called as Goratha Giri, sir. In the Barabar Hills, he occupies a mountainous tract which is called as Goratha Giri, sir. Okay, he occupies Goratha Giri in Barabar Hills. Gorathagiri in Barabar Hills. Then apart from this, the next line here is more important. Just listen to this. He took over this Barabar Hills, Gorathagiri hill he has occupied. Then looking at his victory against the Magadhan rulers, sir. He has won against the Magadhan rulers, and just by looking at this victory, the Yavanas, who by then conquered Mathura, sir. Okay, the Yavanas are none other than the Greeks, sir. So the Yavanas by then itself, they occupied Mathura, and by looking at the victory of Karavela and being afraid of his army, what happened is, the Yavanas who occupied Mathura, they left the city and they started running back, sir. Okay, this is one important victory of his. Even without fighting the battle only, he was able to threaten the Yavanas to such an extent that they left the city of Mathura, sir. And the Yavana ruler who left the city of Mathura, afraid of Karavela, is mentioned as Dimita, sir. Okay, so please write the king name. The Yavana king's name is Dimita. And this Dimita is identified with, okay, some historians identify him with Demetrius, some others identify him with, okay, whom, sir? Menander or Milinda. So the Demetia or Dimita is none other than, it might be either Demetrius or it might be Menander or Milinda, sir. Same person. So one of these two people, the Yavana king who occupied Mathura, is this person called Dimita. And Dimita is none other than Demetrius, or Menander is the person who left the city of Mathura, sir. Is it making sense? Yes. Then this is one important achievement of his. Then after that, the 9th regal year, what he did is, he constructed his great victory palace, sir. 9th regal year. So I'll just make you write the important words here. 9th regal year. So he constructed his great victory palace, which is called as Mahavijaya Prasadam, sir. So 9th regal year, constructed the Mahavijaya Prasadam. And he also gave a lot many gifts to the Brahmins and Arhats, sir. Arhats here means Jains, sir. Okay, he gave a lot many gifts to, he constructed the Mahavijaya Prasadam and gave a lot many gifts to Brahmins and Arhats. Okay, so if you note it down, it will become easy for you to revise, sir. Okay, it is easy for you to revise. So try to write as part of the classroom only. So he gave Brahmins and Arhats also a lot many gifts. Then after that, the next year is the year of his brilliant victory, sir. That is his 10th regal year, sir. So again, he conducted a northward expansion. Okay, struggle on the 8th year, 9th year again truce. Then again 10th year he went for a conflict, sir. And this 10th year conflict is very prominent, primarily because he states that he defeated the rulers of Magadha and Anga, sir. Okay, Magadha and Anga both combined, that is the region of Bihar and Bengal. So both of them combinedly, they are present under the governance of the rulers who are called as Mitra, sir. Okay, in fact, the ruler at the point of time is a person called Brihaspati Mitra. Okay, the ruler is Brihaspati Mitra, and he defeats Brihaspati Mitra in Rajgriha, sir. In Rajgriha, he defeats Brihaspati Mitra, and after defeating him, okay, what he did is, he brought back the Kalinga Jina, sir, who was taken by the Nanda king to Patliputra, sir. Okay, so Nanda king, he took it to Patliputra, that is Mahapadmananda. So, and he brought this Kalinga Jina back from this region, sir. This is one important contribution of his. He brought back the Kalinga Jina. This event is the most defining movement in his career, sir. The reason being, what he did after is, when he constructed the Kandagiri Udayagiri caves, the events of his 10th regal year, he got them carved onto the walls of the Kandagiri Udayagiri hill, sir. In fact, Brihaspati Mitra kneeling before Karavel is in fact shown as a carved image. Then apart from that, he reinstalling the Kalinga Jina, that is also carved onto the walls of Kandagiri Udayagiri, sir. Both the carvings are available. So these victories, Karavela associated a lot of significance to both the victories, sir. So, and both of them are carved on the walls of the Kandagiri Udayagiri hill, sir. So this is his 10th regal year. So he defeated Magadhan king Brihaspati Mitra, and both the images of his defeating Brihaspati Mitra and he kneeling to him, along with that the image of Kalinga Jina's reinstallation, both of them are carved onto the walls of Kandagiri and Udayagiri, sir. Okay, this is one more important thing that he did in the 10th regal year. Then after the 10th regal year, okay, so in fact the 11th regal year, so this time he broke some chains, sir. So for the first time consecutive year he went to a war, because this time rather than he going to the war came to him, sir. Okay, so rather than he going for any expedition, the war came to him, and you can see that there was a confederacy of Sangam age states, sir. Numerous Sangam kingdoms, so together they attacked him, sir. And these Sangam kingdoms which formed an alliance and attacked him are, okay, the people who are called as Chola, okay, Pandya, not Chera, sir. He calls Satyaputra is one more. Then Kerala Putra is one more. He doesn't mention very strangely Chera, sir. Maybe the Chera's other name might be Satyaputras. We don't know, because Ashoka also calls, okay, the Sangam age Cheras as Satyaputras, sir. So because of which reason, maybe they might be Satyaputras, sir. Chola, Pandya, Satyaputra and Kerala Putra. Kerala Putra, maybe Kerala Putras are Cheras. So there is no clarity about it, but just see this, sir. Chola, Pandya, Satyaputra, Kerala Putra and Tamraparni is one more group that came in conflict with him, sir. The fifth group is Tamra Pamis. Tamra Pamis is the group. Tamra Pamis is the group, and in this conflict also he was able to gather a lot of war boots, sir. He was able to defeat all of them, and he gathered war boot. He gathered war boot. I'm absolutely sorry, I made a small mistake, sir. Okay, so what happened is, whatever is mentioned in the 10th regal year, you change it to 12th regal year, sir. I'm sorry. So you change it to 12th regal year, and below you write about the 10th regal year, sir. I'm absolutely sorry. So 10th regal year के बारे में नीचे एक बार लिख लीजिए. 10th regal year, 10th regal year. So 12th, you change the order, just change the number. So and you go to the 10th regal here, sir. So in the 10th regal year, what he has done is, okay, right there, he took a expedition to north. He took an expedition to north. But the result of the expedition, is unknown, sir. Result of the expedition is unknown. Okay, 10th regal year he takes a North Indian expedition, but the result is unknown. But 12th regal year may, whatever I talked about the Brihaspati Mitra, then I talked about this Kalinga Jinas returning, all of them they happened in the 12th regal year, sir. So these are the important. So then apart from this, the next one is with respect to the 13th regal year, sir. The last regal year of his, you write it down, the 13th regal year of Karvel. And if you look at the 13th regal year of Karvel, in this year, what he did is he got the Kandagiri Udayagiri caves excavated, sir. He got the Kandagiri Udayagiri caves excavated, and he constructed 117 caves at Kumari Parvata, sir. Kumari Parvata is nothing but the Udayagiri hill, sir. So Kumari Parvat, you write it down, 117 caves he got excavated for Jain monks, sir. For Jain monks, he got 117 caves excavated at Kumari Parvat. And he also revived the old Kalingan art, which is called as Mukhya Kala, sir. Okay, please write it down. 13th regal year, he got 117 caves excavated. Then he also revived an art which is called as Mukhya Kala. Okay, it is both an art and architecture, sir. Construction of caves is the architecture. The art that he revived is the carvings, sir, stone carvings. So both of them together are called as Mukhya Kala. So these are the important contributions of his, sir. So they started carving Tirthankaras, trees, creepers, images of royal servants. So all of these things are done under the Mukhya Kala only, that is carvings and constructions, sir. Okay, just write the word carvings and constructions. Mukhya Kala is carvings and constructions he has done here. Okay, then after Kharavela, suddenly once more, okay, what happens is there is a dark shadow on the history of Odisha, because immediately after who followed him, so is not very clearly known, sir, but there is some evidence with respect to the son of Kharavel, sir. Okay, so his son's name is, okay, Kude Pasiri. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it. Kude Pasiri is the correct pronunciation. I don't know how to pronounce it. So, but he is the son of Kharavel, sir. Please write it down. There is a reference in Manchapuri caves, sir. Okay, Manchpuri caves. There is a reference in Manchpuri. Okay, Manchpuri caves. Okay, where the Rishabhanatha's image was re-established. There we have a inscription which talks about the son of Kharavela. So the titles are same, sir. Maharaja Kalingadipati Mahameghavahana Kude Pasiri is the person's name, sir. Okay, he might be the son of Kharavel. Then apart from that, okay, the Kharavela lineage is also mentioned in one more inscription, sir. And this inscription is called as Guntapalli inscription, sir. Please write it down. One more inscription also talks about Kharavela's descendants. The inscription's name is Guntupalli. Guntupalli inscription in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. This inscription is present, sir. It talks about a person called Siri Sada, sir. Okay, Siri Sada, but his relation to Kharvel is unknown. Okay, maybe he's a grandson, great grandson, we don't know about it, sir. But he gave the inscription in Guntupalli caves. Guntupalli caves are very prominent Buddhist caves of Andhra Pradesh. So वहाँ पे हमको एक inscription मिलता है with the same titles, and the person's name is Siri Sada, sir. Siri Sada is his name. Okay, so these are the important things about Odisha post Kharvel, sir. So there are many good prelims questions which are possible here. Yes, so you should know about the regal years, what he has done in each year. Try to remember them, sir. They are not very difficult to remember. So just by reading for, okay, the past 2 days, I am almost able to recall somewhere around 10 years. Okay, so 3 years maybe I might have committed some mistakes here and there, but 10 years I was able to recall, which means that you also can do it. It's not very tough. Just remember war, peace and war, except for one time period, that is from almost before 8th year, 7th, 6th and 5th year, he did not fight any conflict. But after that, 9th, 10th and 11th year, so he continuously fought war, sir. Is it clear? So just remember those things. So this is a story of Kharvel. So this is a story of the Kharavel's Mahameghavahana dynasty, sir. Then after this, the next one is with respect to, okay, the Guptan invasion over Odisha, sir. Okay, please take it down. The next topic is this. The Guptan invasion of Odisha is the next topic. So this topic is an important one, sir. So here also, see, the thing is, Samudragupta is the person who conquered Kalinga region, sir. And the reason why he was able to conquer Kalinga, okay, just listen to one backstory, sir. Before the Gupta's invasion, post Kharavela, there is no reference to any kings of Kalinga, no inscriptions left. So almost it is a dark period of history, sir. Then during this period, there was a book written in Sangam Age society, which is called as Manimekalai, sir. Okay, Manimekalai is a epic which is written in Sangam Age society in south. And in this epic, there is a reference to the Kalinga Raja, sir. In fact, the Manimekalai, it talks about the conflict between two kings in Odisha, okay, which was so brutal that it almost destroyed the kingdom, and this led to the easy invasion of Samudragupta over Kalinga, sir. Okay, so this is the only reference that we get, not from Odisha but from the Tamil culture. Manimekalai book में हमको एक evidence मिलता है कुछ conflict के बारे में. Okay, दो kingdom in Kalinga, they fought against each other in a fratricidal battle. So this battle is something that we need to know about, sir. Is it making sense? So just you write this thing, sir. Two princes, Vasu and Kumara, sir. Please write it down. So Guptan rule in Odisha. Before the starting point itself, you write two princes in Kalinga, Vasu and Kumara. Two princes in Odisha, Vasu and Kumara, ruling from Simhapura. One person is ruling, and the second one is ruling from Kapila in Kalinga, sir. Ruling from Simhapura and Kapila in Kalinga. Simhapura, one person is ruling. Vasu is ruling from Simhapura. So Kumara is ruling from Kapila. Okay, so they fought a battle. Okay, this battle weakened the position of Kalinga. This battle weakened the position of Kalinga. Weakened the position of Kalinga, and it was divided into numerous smaller kingdoms, sir. Weakened the position of Kalinga, and it was divided into numerous smaller kingdoms. Okay, so you might be knowing that Samudragupta conducted a pan-India military campaign, right? In the military campaign, he in fact mentions in the Allahabad pillar inscription some prominent rulers of Odisha, sir. So in fact, how many kingdoms are there? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kingdoms, sir. In total, 5 kingdoms he has defeated. So try to write down their names, sir. So if you can, you remember. So otherwise you leave it, but try to write their names down, sir. They are important. So the first one is Kokala, which is also called as Kosala region. Okay, so Kosala or Kokala, he mentions it as Kokala, but it is Kosala. So it is mostly associated with Sambalpur. Then along with Sambalpur, even Chhattisgarh is also part of this region, sir. You might be knowing Raipur, yes, Bilaspur, Raipur, all of them are part of this Kosala kingdom along with Sambalpur, sir. So in fact, this region is a little distinct from rest of Odisha, right? Yes, Sambalpur region. So the reason being, from historical times, it was part of this Kosala region, sir. It is also called as Mahakosala region. So that is what is Sambalpur region. So वहाँ पे there was a ruler by the name of Mahendra, sir. Okay, ruler's name is Mahendra. Then there was one more kingdom which is called as Mahakantara, sir. Okay, so the names are very peculiar. Mahakantara is one more kingdom's name, and it is ruled by this person called Vyagra Raja. Okay, Vyagra Raja is the ruler. He mentions the names of the rulers. He mentions the territory which is under their control. And this Mahakantara region is Koraput and Kalhandi. Okay, so Kalhandi. Okay, leave it be. So I don't want to spell. So I will give correct spellings here. Okay, I can't pronounce them. Maybe, okay, so 10 years if I teach in Odisha from today, maybe I can pronounce them. Then, okay, so then after that, so he occupied the Gajapati district too. So there was a kingdom which is called as, okay, so ruled by Swami Datta. Okay, so please write them down. So ruled by Swami Datta. So this is the next major one. Then the next one is with respect to the Khurda district in Odisha. Khurda, right? Yes, okay, at least. Okay, ruled by Manta Raja, sir. Okay, in fact, the Manta Raja later established an independent kingdom of his own, which is very prominent. So you put a star mark nearby to that Khurda in Odisha, Manta Raja. You write it down. Then the last one is with respect to the Ganjam district. Okay, ruled by Kamana. Okay, so leave it. Pronunciations I'm not very good at. Okay, so leave it be. So it is called as Erranda Palla. Erranda Palla is the region's name. Okay, so it is called ruled by Kamana. So these are the important rulers who have been defeated in Odisha by Samudragupta, sir. So these are the important ones. But his policy towards Odisha is also the same policy, sir. That is Grahana Moksha Anugraha. Please write it down. So he followed a policy called Grahana Moksha Anugraha in Odisha. The same thing. First he will defeat, then gives freedom. Then after that he reinstates the rulers in their own position, sir. Reinstates the rulers in their own position. Reinstates the rulers in their own position. So this is the policy that he followed in Odisha. Then apart from that, the next thing about the reign of Samudragupta is, in fact, we find a lot many Guptan coins in Odisha. Guptan coins in Odisha. And we also see numerous later Odishan rulers. We find numerous Guptan coins, and we also see numerous later Odishan rulers using Guptan era in their inscriptions. Using Guptan era in their inscriptions. Guptan era in their inscriptions, which starts with. So when did the Guptan era start, sir? Can anyone tell? 320 AD. Okay, 320 AD is the Guptan era, sir. So many inscriptions contain the time period from the Guptan era, which shows that at one point of time these kings were subordinates of the Gupta, sir. Is it making sense? Then after the end of the Gupta, see, the thing is Samudragupta, he conquered the region. Then after that we don't find any administrative control which has been exercised, sir. That is the reason why after the end of the Guptan Empire, immediately two important powers emerged in Odisha, sir. One is with respect to, okay, the Matharas, sir. Okay, please write Matharas. Okay, Matharas is one power. The Guptan rule is immediately followed by the Matharas in the coastal belt of Odisha. Matharas in the coastal belt of Odisha, with their capital at Mahendragiri, sir. With their capital at Mahendragiri, immediately after the fall of Samudragupta. So Matharas, they asserted their independence and they had their capital at this place called Mahendragiri. And the Nalas also rose to power. Okay, now how is it called? Nala only, right? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so at least you saved me. You did not call them as Nala. Okay, so I'm just joking. So there is pronunciation problems are there, sir. Okay, so Nala, and they are present in Bastar, Koraput and Kalhan. Okay, so Bastar and Koraput region, along with this region, they were present, sir. So these are the two important powers which emerged after the Gupta era, sir. Is it clear? Okay, so this is with respect to the Guptan conquest of Odisha. So these are some important political changes which occurred in Odisha, sir. We discussed about three important historical periods which are related to the national history of India. But in next class, what we will do is we are going to look at some specific regional kingdoms, sir, like the Bhaumakaras, okay, Somavanshis. We will talk about the Gangas. So next class, the plan is that. And before that, in today's class, what we are going to see is one more important topic from the history point of view is Huan Sang's account of Odisha, sir. Okay, this is a very, very important chapter. So you please write it down. So there is a lot of historical information. Okay, a lot of sites are mentioned by him. So we need to study about the sites. Okay, what he talked about Odisha, all of these aspects we will discuss about today, sir. So Huan Sang's account of Odisha. Huan Sang, he in fact is a Chinese traveler, okay, who belonged to this school of Buddhism which is called as Mahayana Buddhism, and he came into India during the time of Harshavardhana, sir. Okay, during the time of Harshavardhana, he came to India. So, and if you look at the Huansang's account, it is immensely detailed about the province of Odisha, sir. Because Odisha at that point of time was a major center of Buddhism, and he visited numerous viharas, numerous educational institutions, numerous port towns and capital cities he has visited, and he has mentioned them by name. He talked about the important personalities associated with each site too. So all of them are very good sources of information for us. So that is the reason why we need to have a detailed account of Huansang's account of Odisha, sir. And if you look at the Huansang's account of Odisha, he in fact divides the Odishan region into 4 parts, sir. Okay, 4 parts he divides it into. So you need to, I think you might be knowing about these things, right? Okay, the first one is, okay, he divides it into Odra, or how is it pronounced, sir? Odra. Odra is the first province. He talks about the second province, which is called as, okay, Kangoda is the second province, and the third province is Kalinga, and the fourth province is Koshala, sir. So he talks about these 4 provinces in Odisha. But the thing with respect to Huansang is, whatever he calls as Kalingan province, it is not today part of Odisha, sir. Okay, he makes a very unique classification. He says that the Kalinga region is in fact present to the south of Odisha, sir. That is coastal Andhra Pradesh, which includes the regions like Vijayanagaram, Visakhapatnam. Then apart from that, there is one more district called Srikakulam. So those regions together, he calls them as Kalinga, sir. Maybe at the time of Harshavardhana, this region was under the control of the Odian king, sir. That is the reason why this region is called as Kalinga by him, sir. Very unique classification he makes, sir. Try to understand this. Here, Odra is northern Odisha, whereas the region of Kongoda is the coastal part of Odisha, sir, if I am not wrong. So I'll just tell the districts where it is present. Then apart from that, Kalinga is present in Andhra Pradesh, whereas the Kosala region, it shares its boundary with Sambalpur on one side and on the other side with Chhattisgarh, sir. So these are the 4 geographical regions. He divides the Odisha region into, sir, 4 geographical regions, and he gives a specific information about each region. So we will study about it a little thoroughly, sir. Just understand this. The first region that he talks about is the region of Odra, and he, in fact, today historians have identified this region to be part of Midanpur, Balasore, Cuttack, Ganjam and Puri districts, sir. So in total 4 districts, parts of Puri district. Then apart from that, Midanpur is present in which state today, sir? It is present in West Bengal, but historically it was part of the Odia region, sir. Okay, it was part of the Odia region. So Midanpur, Balasore, Cuttack, Ganjam and Puri districts he talks about. And this region he calls it as Odra, and he says that in this region 3 faiths are prominent. Please write it down. So Odra region, first write each region ka specific story we will have a look at. So the first region is Odra, and it contains Midanpur, Balasore, Cuttack, Ganjam and parts of Puri district, sir. Parts of Puri district. Harshavardhana's visit of Odisha, you write. The year also you write down, sir. He visited in 639 AD, sir. Please write down the year too. So he visited in 639 AD. So these are the important districts which are part of the Odra country. And he says that in this country, so the Mahayana, Hinayana and the cult of Devas, they coexisted, sir. Please write it down. He says Hinayana, Mahayana and the cult of Devas coexisted in this region. Cult of Devas means Hinduism, sir. Okay, cult of Devas means Hinduism. So these 3 cults, they coexisted together. This is one statement that he makes. And he says the language of, write it down, the language of Odra region, the language of Odra region is different from the language of Central India, sir. Is different from the language of Central India. Central India. Okay, and in this region, he identifies, please write it down. He identifies a monastery and calls it Pushpa Giri, sir. Okay, so this is a very, very prominent one, sir. But even today, the historians are unable to identify where this Pushpagiri exactly is present. Some people identify this Pushpagiri with the diamond triangle of Buddhism in Odisha. Okay, that is Ratnagiri. Okay, then along with that, Lalitagiri and Udaygiri are present. So they are present in which district, sir? Jajpur district they are present in. So some historians identify the Pushpagiri monastery of Huansang to be part of this diamond triangle region too, sir. But there is no 100% evidence that it has not been identified completely, but maybe it is identified with the area of Udaygiri, Lalitagiri and Ratnagiri area of Jajpur district. It is given here wrongly as Cuttack. So I think it is Jajpur, sir. Please write it down. Jajpur district. So Pushpagiri, which is identified as Udaygiri, Lalitagiri and Ratnagiri, which are part of the diamond triangle of Buddhism, in Jajpur district, sir. Diamond triangle of Buddhism in Jajpur district. This is one center that he talks about, that is Pushpagiri. Then apart from this Pushpagiri center, the second one he talks about is Cheritra is the second site he talks about, sir. Please write it down. So one site he talks about is Pushpagiri. The second site that he talks about is Cheritra. Cheritra is the second site that he talks about. When it comes to this Cheritra, so it has been identified with the Sri Kshetra or Puri, sir. Please write it down. So it is identified with Sri Kshetra or Puri. Sri Kshetra or Puri, sir. Okay, what is it called? Sri Kshetra, correct? It looks like Kshetra. No. Okay. So the place name is historically it is called as Cheritra. So it is an important Buddhist site at the point of time. So this is one more site that he has identified, sir. Then along with that, he talks about a very unique story, sir. Just listen to this story. Huansang, he has come to the court of Harshavardhana. So Harshavardhana had occupied this region of Odra, and after occupying this region of Odra, some Hinayana Buddhists, sir, they knew that Harshavardhana is a Mahayanist, sir. Try to understand this. They knew that Harshavardhana is a Mahayanist, but what these Hinayanists do is they go to Harshavardhana, sir, and they challenge his faith in Mahayana, sir. They tell to him that whatever you are believing in as Buddhism is a wrong faith. So they call the Mahayana Buddhism as the doctrine of sky flower, sir. Okay, I don't know why they call it. They call it as a doctrine of sky flower, and they say that Buddha himself has rejected the Mahayana doctrine. You should not follow this doctrine. Okay, they go and challenge the faith of Harshavardhana. And Harshavardhana, even though to start with he was a Shaivite, he was converted into Buddhism by Huansang, sir. And when his faith in Mahayanism is challenged by the Hinayanists of Odra country, what he does is he sends a message. This is all recorded in Huansang's account, sir. He sends a message to Nalanda University. Because in Nalanda University during the time of Harshavardhana, Mahayana was the central doctrine, sir. And there was a chancellor for the Nalanda University, and his name was Silabhadra, sir. Silabhadra was the chancellor of this Nalanda University, and Harshavardhana sends a message to Silabhadra saying that you send some Mahayanist scholars to the Odra country. So we need to conduct a discussion between the Hinayanists and Mahayanists. Okay? He sends a message there, sir. And immediately Silabhadra, what he does is he appoints 4 Buddhist monks and asks them to go to the Odra country, sir. But immediately after that, Harshavardhana sends one more message to the Nalanda University saying that the discussion has been postponed. It will be conducted later is the message that he sends. But after that, the discussion has never been conducted, sir. Are you understanding this? And the 4 Mahayana scholars who have been appointed to discuss with the Hinayana doctrine people are none other than one is Huansang himself, sir. Because he is considered to be an expert in Mahayana Buddhism. One Chinese man coming from China and teaching us about Buddhism. So that is very unique thing, sir. So he was appointed as one of the missionary. Then along with him, there are 3 other missionaries. You need to write their names down, sir. Okay, please write one statement there. The Hinayanists of the Odra country. the Hinayanis. You write down what I say. The Hinayanis of the Odra country challenged Harshavardhana's faith in Mahayana Buddhism. Challenged Harshavardhana's faith in Mahayana Buddhism and criticized Mahayana Buddhism, calling it sky flower doctrine, which is rejected by Buddha, Full stop. To face this challenge, Harshavardhana asked the Chancellor of Nalanda University, Shilabhadra, to send 4 Buddhist scholars, and he planned on sending, write these people's name down here. Huan Sang, Sagara Mati, okay, Prajna Rashmi, Simha Rashmi, Prajna and Simha Rashmi. Then along with that, Sagara Mati is one more person. So these 4 people were supposed to be sent to conduct the discussion, sir. Sagaramati, Prajna Rashmi, Simha Rashmi and Huan Sang. So these are the 4 people who are supposed to be sent. Okay, you wrote the names of all 4. Okay, so then after that you write, but the discussion was called off. Okay, they did not conduct the discussion was called off, sir. The discussion was called off. Okay, so full stop. That's it. Okay, so then after that, the second region that he talks about is, okay, so the Kongoda region. So, and it is a part of the Ganjam district and Puri district, sir. Okay, Ganjam and parts of Puri. So, both of them are part of this Kongoda region. So, and in this region, he talks about cowrie shells being used as currency, sir. Please write it down. Be quick. So, cowrie shells were used as currency. And he says Buddhism is in decline in this region. He says Buddhism is in decline, and the cult of Devas, is on the ascent. Cult of the Devas is on ascent, and nearly 10,000 Jain monks are present in this region. He says nearly 10,000 Jain monks are present in this region. So Devas cult is prominent. Then along with that, there are nearly 10,000 Jain monks, sir. Just remember, Odra country doesn't have any Jainism, sir. Whereas if you come down, so in Kongoda, there are nearly 10,000 Jain monks, but Buddhism is in decline. Deva cult and Jainism are prominent here. Then the next one is Kalinga region, sir. Okay, please write the next region, Kalinga. So this is the coastal Andhra region between Godavari and Krishna, sir. Coastal Andhra region between the rivers Godavari and Krishna was called as Kalinga by this person, sir. Very unique naming. Okay, so usually earlier the Kalinga Raja is the coastal Andhra Pradesh, right? Coastal Odisha. But this person, he in fact shifts it south, sir. Okay, and he says that the capital of this city or this kingdom is Kalinganagara. I'm sorry. So he says that the capital is Kalinganagara, And this Kalinga is identified with the Srikakulam district, sir. So please write it down. It is identified with the Srikakulam district. And he says that Buddhism is in complete decline in this region. Buddhism is in complete decline in this region. And the cult of Devas is prominent. So in this region, the cult of Devas is very prominent, whereas Buddhism is in complete decline. So that is the story of Kalinga that he talks about, sir. Then after Kalinga, he gives a very detailed account of Kosala, sir, in the last territory of his. So he gives a detailed account of Kosala. So when it comes to his account of Kosala, what he says is, he says that Kosala had a capital at this place called Sripura, sir. Please write it down. Kosala's capital is Sripura. Sripura is its capital. It is present nearby to Raipur, sir. Raipur in Chhattisgarh. So it is present nearby to that. And it contains Raipur, Bilaspur, Sambalpur, okay, Sonepur. All of these regions are part of this Kosala kingdom, sir. Okay, so and he says that both Brahmanism and Mahayana Buddhism are prominent. He says both Brahmanism and Mahayana Buddhism are prominent, sir. So both of them are prominent, but he talks about a university in this region, sir. So this is a very prominent one, sir. Just see, write down the name of this university, which is called as Parimala Giri, sir. I don't know. Parimala Giri is the name of this monastery. Parimala Giri. Okay, Parimala Giri is the monastery. It is present on the border of Sambalpur and okay, so Bolangir districts. So it is on the border. It is present on the border of this region. Okay, and it is constructed by this person by the name of Sadavaha. Okay, in fact, Huensang calls him as Sadavaha, but he is identified by some historians as Shatakarni I. Please write it down. So it is constructed by Sadavaha, and some identify him with Shatakarni I, and some with Gautamiputra Shatakarni, sir. Okay, there is no clarity about this. Okay, some identify him with Shatakarni I, some identify him with Gautamiputra Shatakarni, but one of these two people has constructed this Mahavihara, which is called as Parimalagiri, sir. And one important person who is associated with this Mahavihara is none other than Acharya Nagarjuna, sir. Please write it down. So Acharya Nagarjuna is associated with this Mahavihara, Acharya Nagarjuna. So if you remember, okay, so even in my ancient medieval classes also I told about Acharya Nagarjuna, sir. So Acharya Nagarjuna is a person who wrote a very prominent book called Madhyamika Karika, sir. In fact, he propagated an ideology called Sunyata, and he played a very important role in the rise of the Mahayana form of Buddhism. And from his Mahayana form of Buddhism only, Vajrayana also became prominent later, sir. So all of these are associated with the same person, that is Acharya Nagarjuna, and this university is called as Parimalagiri University, sir. So there you write just Acharya Nagarjuna is associated with what is the book name, sir? Just now I told Madhyamika Karika, sir. Madhyamika Karika and Sunyata. Madhyamika Karika and Sunyata concept. So all of these things are associated with the region which is called as the Kosala region. So this way, so he classifies the region of Odisha into 4 parts, and he gives a detailed description about the each part of Odisha, sir. Is it clear? Then apart from that, Huensang also clearly states that, so Harshavardhana, please write it down. He states that Harshavardhana has conquered okay, Odra and okay, Kongoda or Kango. Okay, how is it pronounced? The second region, Kangod. Okay. Okay. So Odra and Kangoda were conquered by Harshavardhana. Odra and Kangoda are occupied by Harshavardhana, and he appointed a military governor for this region. He appointed a military governor for this region. Military governor for this region from the Datta family. Okay, so who is present? I don't know. There is no name which is mentioned anywhere, sir. But from person from the, okay, yes, okay, Datta family, he was appointed as the military governor of Odra and Kongada region. So these are the regions which are under Harshavardhana's control, sir. Is it making sense? So this finishes one more important topic, that is Huansang's visit of Odisha. So very important regions, okay, where they are present, where their capitals are present, we have discussed about it. Now one last topic I'll discuss, sir. Okay, that is the topic of Buddhism in Odisha. Okay, last topic, you take the heading down. So Buddhism in Odisha is the last topic, sir. So this is also a very important topic. I've seen in your prelims paper also a lot many questions being asked from this section. So I'll dictate some important things here, sir. So you just need to remember them. First and foremost, when it comes to Odisha, see, Buddhism during the lifetime of Buddha, okay, during the lifetime of Buddha, he never visited Odisha, sir. Okay, in fact, when you compare it with Jainism, Mahavira, he definitely visited, okay, Odisha, sir. But Buddha, he never visited Odisha. But what happened is, two important merchants from the Utkal region, sir. Okay, from the Utkal region, two important merchant brothers, what they did is, they got to know about Buddha, sir. So what they did is, they went from Utkal to, okay, Madhya Desha, and there they met Buddha. They in fact were converted into Buddhism by Lord Buddha himself, sir. And shortly after their meeting with Buddha, Buddha had expired, sir. And at the time of his death itself, what they have done is, Buddha's dead body, so it was in fact made into parts and it was sent to some important center, sir. In fact, initially it is said that his dead body was made into 8 parts and was given to different kingdoms, sir. And when it was being distributed, so these two brothers, what they did is, they got, okay, one of the, okay, relic of Buddha, sir. Okay, बॉडी पार्ट्स में एक एक रीजन को एक एक बॉडी पार्ट दे रहा था, 8 रीजन्स में उन लोगों ने बांटा था. तो इसमें these people, they got hold of the hair relic of Buddha, sir. Hair relic of Buddha, and they brought this in a relief casket to Odisha region, sir. Then after that, Odisha is a state which had 3 relic caskets of Buddha, sir. In total, how many relic caskets? 3 relic caskets of Buddha were brought to Odisha. The first one was brought by these two traders, that is Tapassu and Ballika. So these are the people who are from Utkala region. So then after that, we also see that there was a tooth relic of Buddha which was also brought to Odisha. So this is one relic that was brought in. Then along with that, one more relic is also brought into Odisha, sir. Odisha in fact contained 3 relics of Buddha. Relics means bodily remains, and they are brought in caskets, and on the caskets usually they construct a stupa, sir. And recently, so you might be knowing that Lalitpur is one region which is being excavated. When they were excavating this Lalitpur region, they were also able to, or Lalitagiri, right? So Lalitagiri. So when they were excavating the Lalitagiri region, they found one relief casket of Buddha in Lalitagiri, sir. Okay, recently it has been identified that there is a casket of Buddha in Lalitagiri too. So in total, 3 caskets are there in Odisha. And of these, the first important people are these two brothers, sir, that is Tapassu and Ballika, sir. Okay, please write it down. So I'll dictate some things. Just write them down. Write them down. Buddha never visited Odisha during his lifetime. During his lifetime. But 2 rich traders from Utkala, called Tapassu and Ballika, Ballika, visited Buddha in Madhya Desha, and were converted to Buddhism, and they brought the Kesha Asti. Okay, they brought the Kesha Asti. Kesha means hair. Okay, Kesha Hasti, relic to Odisha, full stop. Later, a tooth relic, is also, brought to Odisha by Bhikshu Khematera. Okay, Bhikshu Khematera is the person who brought a tooth relic to Odisha. Okay, so Khematera, and it was worshipped at Dantepura, okay, so which was a capital of Kalinga. Okay, so the capitals kept on changing, sir. Okay, there is no fixed capital. So Dantepura is one more capital. There, this tooth relic was placed and it was worshipped. Then after that, write the next statement. During the time of Ashoka, Buddhism was propagated. By his brother Tissa. Full stop. Already we have seen the various scholars who have come, the various, okay, so the vihara which was constructed by him. Then after this, write the next statement. After the decline of Mauryan Empire to Buddhism in all its formats, continued in Odisha, continued in Kalinga. Okay, so then you write one statement. Some prominent monks of Kalinga, sir. After Mauryan period, there are some prominent monks of Kalinga, sir. One of them is Aryadeva. Okay, they are important from the national history point of view too, sir. Okay, because on Diganga there was a question in UPSC prelims, sir. Okay, so one person is Aryadeva, second one is Diganga, and the third one is Dharmakirti, sir. Right there, three names now. Aryadeva, second one is Diganga, and the third one is Dharmakirti. Okay, so one line story about them we will know. So one line story. One is Aryadeva is a disciple of Nagarjuna. Right now, so Aryadeva is a disciple of Nagarjuna. At Parimalagiri. That is Mahavihara of Nagarjuna is Parimalagiri, right? Mahavihara. So because of which reason, so Aryadeva, he is a student of Nagarjuna at Parimalagiri, and he wrote books like Chatushataka and Chitta Suddhaka. Two books he has written, sir, on Mahayana doctrine itself. Chatushataka is one, and the second one is Chitta Suddhaka. Okay, so Chitta Suddhaka. Then after that, Diganga is the next one. In fact, he belongs to Bhorasila. Okay, so he belongs to Bhorasila, which is Vishwanath Hill in Puri, sir. There also there was a Buddhist center. Write it down. Diganga belongs to Bhorasila, which is present in this region called Vishwanath Hill of Puri district. So, and Diganga is very prominent because he defeated a Sankhya philosopher by the name of Ishvara Krishna, sir. Write it down. He defeated a Sankhya philosopher called Ishwara Krishna. So in fact, India had a very unique tradition, sir. You know about this? If any religious scholar of any sect is defeated by, in philosophical discussion, if he is defeated by another religious scholar, they have to convert to the other religion, sir. Okay, this was the rule at that point of time. So Ishwara Krishna, he was defeated by this person called Diganga. Then after that, the third one is Dharmakirti, and he defeated Kumarila Bhatt, sir. See, very unique story I'll tell here. So just write it down. Third one, Dharmakirti defeated Kumarila Bhatt, sir. Kumarila Bhatt. And he belonged to a Sangha near Kalinga. Sir. In fact, these two people's names are also present in one very prominent, scholar's story in India, sir. Can anyone tell whose story these two people are associated? One reviver of Hinduism, one of the greatest philosopher of Hinduism. His story also mentions both Kumarila Bhatt and Ishwara Krishna, sir. Do you know about him, sir? So his name is none other than Shankaracharya, sir. Okay, Shankaracharya, he is supposed to have defeated both Ishwara Krishna and Kumarila Bhatt. Whether he directly defeated them or he defeated Diganga and Dharmakirti, who defeated Ishwara Krishna and Kumarila Bhatt, it is not very clear, sir. But Shankaracharya is associated with the tradition of this philosophical discussion, sir. Just remember, that is the reason why there two are very prominent people, sir. In Hindu tradition, both Kumarila Bhatt and along with Kumarila Bhatt, this person, Ishwara Krishna, are considered to be very prominent philosophers who are defeated by Shankaracharya. But Buddhism the same two people are associated and they are defeated by Diganga and Dharmakirti. So which is true, I will leave it to your discretion. We don't know, sir, because religious matters there is no absolute truth. Okay, so we don't know who defeated whom, but this is one story which is associated with the Buddhism in Odisha, sir. Then after that, Buddhism is really at its peak during the period of the Bhaumakaras, sir. So however they pronounce, the name is pronounced correctly by me. Yes. So Bhaumakaras are the rulers, during whose period Buddhism was at its peak, sir. Try to understand this. Odisha and Buddhism have an integral link because of the Bhaumakara rule, sir. This is a very, very good question which can be asked in the prelims examination. Just observe this. So when it comes to the rule of the Bhaumakaras as rulers, they themselves are practitioners of Buddhism, sir. And during their period in Odisha, what happened is, from the Mahayana doctrine of Buddhism, a new doctrine has emerged which is called as a Tantrayana Buddhism, sir. Okay, because the Bhaumakaras practiced this thing which is called as Tantra, and because of which Buddhism was influenced by Tantra, and a new form of Buddhism called Tantrayana Buddhism has emerged, sir. And the same Tantrayana Buddhism later got converted into Vajrayana Buddhism. The same Tantrayana Buddhism is the father doctrine for one more form of Buddhism which is called as Kalachakrayana, and it is also the father doctrine for one more form of Buddhism which is called as Sahajiya Buddhism, sir. Just listen to this carefully. So three different doctrines of Buddhism, they emerged from the Tantric form of Buddhism, and the origin for Tantra in Buddhism, it is definitely present in Odisha, sir. Try to understand this. What the Bhaumakaras did is, they integrated numerous tribal groups of Odisha into Buddhism, sir. And when the tribal groups entered into Buddhism, they brought their own practices into Buddhism, sir. And the tribal groups typically tend to follow Tantra, right? You know Tantra? Tantra is a belief in what, sir? Magic and ritual. So performance of rituals, magic, belief in mantra, so belief in some sacred symbols which are called as yantra, all of them became an integral part of Buddhism during the Bhaumakara period, sir. In fact, I will tell you one story. So this Vajrayana form of Buddhism was taken to Tibet, sir. Okay, it was taken to Tibet, and it was taken by a person called Padmasambhava. He is a very, very prominent scholar. So Padmasambhava, he took this Vajrayana form of Buddhism to which region, sir? Tibet region. And Padmasambhava, he is in fact the son of a king of Sambalpur, sir. Okay, the Sambalpur's king's name is, I have given it, just a second. So his name is what, sir? Indrabhuti. Indrabhuti is the king of Sambalpur, and his son is Padmasambhava, and he is the one who took this Vajrayana form of Buddhism to Tibet region. Even today, Tibetan Buddhism is Vajrayana form of Buddhism, sir. Absolutely, it is Vajrayana form of Buddhism. And even before Vajrayana could emerge in Nalanda and Vikramasila, before that, the diamond triangle of Odisha, it is very, very prominent for Vajrayana form of Buddhism, sir. I'll dictate some things, don't worry about it. So just listen to me carefully. And here, there is one unique thing that the ruler of Sambalpur has done, sir. What he has done is, he has made a proclamation in one of his books that Lord Buddha is none other than Lord Jagannath, sir. Okay, in fact, he equated Lord Buddha with Lord Jagannath. So this is one place where you can see some compromise between Brahmanism and Vajrayana form of Buddhism, sir. And later day, it became mainstream in the society. The same thing is reasserted by this person called Jaydev, which made most of the Buddhists of Odisha, particularly the Vajrayana Buddhists, adopt to the cult of Jagannath, sir. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So there is a compromise here, Vajrayana emergence, and along with that, Vajrayana getting compromised with the cult of Jagannath. All of them occurred during the period and of Bhaumakaras and a little after them, sir. Is it making sense? So that is the reason why this part of the history is very important. They can ask very good prelims questions here, sir. So just take down some elements here. I'll dictate some things. Okay. So is it raining? So shall we continue the discussion later? Yes. So already it is exhausting, sir, as it is. Okay. So, but okay. So is the information sufficient? Should I go a little more in depth, sir? So I think this is sufficient because whatever good books are there, so I am referring to all of them and I am collecting the information. So and I am putting them at one place, sir. So it would be useful for you. So whatever the section on Buddhism is there, I will repeat it once more. So then I will dictate these things, sir. Okay. So how Jagannatha cult became, or Buddhist cult became part of the Jagannath cult. So the role of the king of Sambalpur, Padmasambhava. Then apart from that, Jayadeva's Git Govind. So all of them contributed to this, okay, accommodation of the cult of Buddha into the Jagannath culture in Odisha. About this, we will discuss further in day after's class, sir. Tomorrow there will be no class. Day after, 1 day gap, 1 day class, sir. Is it fine? So day after, what we will do is, we will discuss some specific kingdoms. Then apart from the specific kingdoms, we will also finish off the religious history of Odisha, sir. We will discuss Jainism, we will discuss Shaivism, Vaishnavism. Then after that, Shakti cult in Odisha. And I will also try to finish off the Jagannath cult also. So in the next class, then along with that, some local ruling dynasties also I'll cover, sir. And the third day's class would be on the art and architecture of Odisha. Then along with the art and architecture, I will try to finish off the Gangas and Gajapati rulers. So that will finish off the ancient part of Odishan history, sir. So this week in 3 days time, so my plan is to at least cover, okay, these aspects, so that in the next week we can go to the aspect of medieval Odisha. So 1 week we will do the discussions on medieval Odisha. Then thereafter we will do the discussion on modern history of Odisha. So this way my plan is in total somewhere around some 10 classes. We will try and finish this off, sir. Okay, is it too quick? Okay, so I think 10 classes would be sufficient time, sir. Okay, with good material, good dictated notes, that would be sufficient time. So somewhere around some 20-25 hours we will take and we will wind up this section, sir. Is it clear? Okay, so on this note, let's call it a day. So and we will meet again day after. Okay, so for the general studies students, you will again see tomorrow morning. Okay, so we will again meet tomorrow morning. So okay, so that's it, sir. Okay, thank you for your time. Have a good evening. So if you have any doubts or questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll call it. All right.